And it's day 16, and we wake up in Geldern today. But I don't think we're gonna stick around here for very long because there's more interesting shit to do than sticking around here. And it's gonna be obvious pretty quickly here, so I might as well just tell you now. This audio is recorded in post because fuck voice meter. I guess this is kind of like the problem is my second monitor's fully dead now. Well, at least most of the time.
We do not know.
And when you don't have a second monitor for this type of thing specifically, it's really hard to check up and make sure that everything's working the way it is, you know? Make sure your processor isn't melting and that your fucking audio's being picked up. So I recorded audio for this entire day, but it just didn't actually save because the device wasn't picking it up. So I had a full-blown conversation with myself.
I'm gonna take a break.
A more weird kind than usual, so that's fun. So we're just I'm gonna fill this out in post because you see, I could go back and just replay the whole day and re-record it, but that doesn't seem like very much fun now, does it? Especially since, like, I'm perfectly happy with the way things turned out for the most part for this day. I mean, I did kind of piss around at the beginning here, as you can see. We're gonna go bum around the mine. I think I'm looking for the last few eager slaves to send off. Yeah.
You will now enter the wolf mine and dig for artifacts there.
No problem. I've just been waiting for someone to yell, "Go forth."
And there's one more, I think? I don't remember. So at the moment, I'm watching this back in my video editor so that I can add the voice in after the fact, which, I mean, obviously it's going to be a little bit different. It's kind of a different format, and it's something that I thought about, you know, previously because,
Go to the wolf mine and start digging again.
And what if I don't?
Then I'll punch you in the mouth.
Since you're
Such an
asking so
asshole.
nicely, I'm on my way.
I was saying something, but I don't remember. Maybe I'll get to it. Yeah, we're a hero of the world. We have slayed dragons and a fucking demigod or archdemon, whatever you want to call it, and now we're just distributing slaves for the orcs. And it's such a convoluted system in the game too, because like you could literally just start mowing down orcs from the word go. Like, you don't have to go into town or any of this shit. You can just start fucking murdering them from outside the castle. They'll all pour out, you can kill them, and then away you go. But if you want XP, and even if you're following the rebel path, the rebels are like, oh, you gotta get in good with the orcs so that you can, like, you know, go talk with their commander. And then you have, like, one brief conversation with the various commanders, and then you go and kill all of the fucking orcs the same way you would have if you just didn't bother with any of the other bullshit. There is a nice peace and calm to the tedium of it, though, you know? It's always a nice process. It's definitely a very unwindy game in comparison to the previous Gothics, where there was more active shit happening. I mean, stuff can still fuck you up real fast, but you know, the monotony of it kind of dims that just a little bit, if you know what I mean. Shooting ogres. I don't really know what to say now. Like, I was saying something before. Oh, yes, right. This format of talking over top of things was something that I've seen done before. If anyone's familiar with Yahtzee's Let's Drown Out series. I quite enjoyed those, and they would go back and forth between actively playing the game and just kind of, you know, drowning it out, talking over it, and just having pre-recorded footage that they would talk over. And I really liked that as a format. It's kind of the inspiration for doing this sort of thing. Like, you know, we have the challenge run, but then we just talk about other stuff. I haven't been very good about, like, coming up with other stuff to talk about with this game in particular. Just because I got kind of, you know, worn out. So this is just like a nice play experience, and we just talk about what's happening in the game and things that I observe as we go. But yeah, so we found a golem in there, and we don't have a means of dealing with golems. Although now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we could with the explosive arrows. Same deal as the skeletons, maybe. I'll have to try that another time. Because obviously I'm not in control of what's happening now. What you doing? I think I'm picking through looking for quests. Like something that I could just like pass off. Oh, maybe I'm gonna go get arrows. That's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna have to put the teleporter rune in the quick bar. I just recorded this like yesterday, and I don't fucking remember most of the stuff that I was thinking or doing at the time. There we go. Gonna go to Montera first, I guess. Like, I vaguely remember what happened. I remember like the big thing that I do with this record, which I guess I won't spoil now. Ah, fuck it, who cares? We're gonna go to Gotha later. I'm gonna make an attempt to free Gotha. And then other stuff gets in the way ahead of that, but we'll see when we get there. But the first bit is because we want to go liberate Gotha. And I have, like, what is that, 144 arrows? It's minimized, so I can't quite tell. But, yeah, I wanted more, so I was going around looking for more. Oh, no, I'm going to find the chest. That's what I'm doing here. Remember, I said to mention it so that I don't forget. Well, I remembered anyway. There was one of those, like, impossible chests up in this bandit camp, buried in the cave. And because now I talked to Lairs and I got the master thieving skills, we're gonna go pick that. And I remember coming across a couple others throughout this playthrough as well, but I don't remember where they are. So if anybody else remembers where they are or can be bothered to like go back, post up the comments, because otherwise there's a good chance I'm just gonna never go back because I'll permanently have forgotten. Make our way through the darkness to that chest, and behold what is going to be disappointment. I'll just spoil it now. Look at that shit. A couple of potions. Yeah, I was like yelling about it at the time. You could see the mouse moving around. Screaming. Because it's the same kind of shit that you would get in just one of those normal metal chests. Like, it's a fucking magic ore blank, 500 gold, a snapper potion, and then I don't remember what the other thing was, but it's junk. None of it's particularly good. Considering you need to have the master skill to unlock that, you'd expect way better loot. Like, there's a significant increase from like those rounded, not even locked chests to the locked ones. And then there's like a pretty decent increase from those to the metal chest, but then there's like nothing to the impossible chest, which begs the question of why the fuck it's even there. Other than just as an extra padding thing. And now I'm looking around for what's his face? The paladin. Wenzel, that's his name. I remember, sort of. He's talking over there.
Show me your goods.
Still looking for arrows and being disappointed. You know, we don't ever have to worry about completely running out of arrows because they regenerate every couple of days, but the number of merchants that actually have them are so few and far between that it's still a pain in the ass. And it doesn't help that we're still using the same bow that we have been for like a week now. This is like the biggest thing that I hated about the progression of this game, even before it was patched, was that even with the swords, like, you play for a couple of in-game days, and then you've got a weapon that's really good, and you're just not going to find anything that's better than that for a very, very long time.
Show me your goods.
Versus Gothic 1 and 2 were both very, very, very good at like slowly drip feeding you slightly better stuff as you go. It was very hard to get something that was just fantastic early in the game and then not have to worry about it. Because A, you were limited by LP and having to distribute those around, versus this, the game kind of showers you with it fairly early on. So we got all the hunting skill we need. We can wield a better bow than what we have, just like don't bother. Because we don't have a better bow. And that's stupid. I think that balancing is like really, really boring. It's the number one thing that pissed me off about this game. Like, forget the grind, forget the fucking monotony and the fact that everything is just copy-pasted fetch quests and kill quests. The lack of feeling of progression is really infuriating. Especially when you're like me. When I'll probably do the same thing now in this playthrough is I'll just save up all my gold until I can get the paladin armor. And then there, we have the best armor and away we go. There's nothing that's gonna slowly, incrementally be better. Boring. It's a good thing Jens has arrows. I think when we get, like, to a new country, maybe we'll get more loot. Not loot, but, like, different loot. What am I doing? Oh, I think I was debating going into the cave down there to see if that's the one with the impossible chest, but then I was like, fuck it, I don't care. Yeah. So recording audio. You know, I did this to myself on previous playthroughs as well, where just voice meter wasn't picking up the audio and then I had to like restart a bit of it, but I've never gone through an entire recording, I don't think, and then just found out after the fact that, oh, I didn't have any mic audio the entire time. But to be fair, I had a second monitor and usually keep all that shit over there so I can just see. And usually when I go like grab a drink of water or something like that. Oh yeah, I'm buying the horn helmet. I said I was gonna do it and then I totally forgot about it. So I'll wear it for the day. And then I'll probably take it off because like the small amount of armor rating is not worth the hideous thing sitting on your head all the time. I would rather see Nameless's head than this stupid horn helmet. And the helmet thing is like another thing that's a massive piss off is because like, yeah, you can get this helmet at the beginning of the game and then you will go through most of a 100-hour game and never find another helmet. Well, not never find it, but like, I know that there's a paladin's helmet, but that's like a divine artifact or some shit, and it's way, way, way late in the game. So you're wearing the same helmet for roughly 50 hours, we'll say. And then there's the best quote-unquote helmet in the game, which is a divine artifact, which is the gold crown. Not gold crown, silver crown. If you watch mage builds, they always have it. They get the white robe and the white crown, and it looks all fancy. And now I'm just looking at that dust cloud over there going, what the fuck is that? And then realize that, oh yeah, the teleportation leaves some residue. Which is a cool little touch. I like that. I don't know why it just vanished the second I looked closely at it, but that's what happens. And then we got the deer falling from the sky. I think that's actually what's happening. I think it's just how it looks when the draw distance is so short on the hilltop. And it's still baffling that the creature draw distance is so much shorter than everything else. And there's no adjustment. But yeah, anyway, so you're looking at the same helmet for most of the entire game. And then, yeah, maybe if you get an upgrade. And if I'm honest, I don't even remember getting the first Paladin's helmet. I think I go straight from Horn Helm to the stupid crown near the end of the game, so That's why I hate it more than anything. It's not because it's bad. It's not even that ugly, but it's not my style. And you have to look at it for 60 to 80 hours. It's terrible. I'm gonna go prune goblins. I think I'm slowly making my way over to that other hunter because I desperately want to see if those fucking shy deer showed up again. Try not to get pushed off a cliff here. Spoiler, I can't find the shy deer. They're just gone. I didn't kill them in that like 20-second window I had near the beginning of the game, and now they're just gone. Also, it's really jarring when like the game starts hanging and like it pauses its own audio, or the sound effects at least, so the rain just kind of cuts out randomly like that. That's not me. And that's not even that my PC's like dying trying to play this ancient game. It just does that. And it's patched. I can only assume it used to be worse before the patches because I remember audio issues were fucking crazy. It's just like the game is trying to internally process stuff and the code only processes itself so fast it doesn't matter how fast your processor is, which seems like kind of a weird thing to do. Alright, we found the zombies. We're just kind of testing our strength on the undead here. I think I ran into one. I might have run into this cave before actually, but I forgot about it. Zombies are one of the tougher opponents. I'm gonna give the 200 XP. That's more than a freaking orc does. And then we ran into skeletons. We're like, no, I can't fight skeletons. Although I want to try the explosive arrow experiment, and I need to make sure they're not going to chase me so I can equip them. The hotbar just needs like slightly more items. Okay, we got 13 explosive arrows, and now we're going to see. Does it work, or are we completely screwed? And it does damage! So, we have a means of damaging skeletons at this point, or at least I've figured that much out. Except I only have 12 of them. And I want to go to Gotha, which is polluted with zombies and skeletons. First, we gotta make our way down here. We're gonna go find the hunter. Realize that I'm way too far. Because the orcs are right there. Holy shit, this is hanging really bad. I hope that's not... I hope the frames don't hang as badly in the actual video once I render it. Sometimes the editor is not the best way of previewing things, must be said. I guess to be fair, I didn't need to watch this in the editor because the only reason I need it in the editor to like watch back other footage is for the second audio track. But there is only one audio track in this. Whoops. Well, that's newbie video production for you, I guess. We'll be back to the normal way of doing things for the next record for sure. I was originally gonna like do that record, and usually I just try to watch back the previous video for what I talked about and stuff like that, so that I, you know, can semi carry off and also like be able to reference like stuff that happened in the previous playthrough. And that's when I noticed that, oh, there's no audio, so we'll never know what I was talking about. Alright, now, presumably I'm going to teleport, after I kill this boar, to somewhere more useful. I think I just go back to Montera. Maybe. Looks like it. Yay. Alright, let's go take a stroll down to Gotha. And we'll find another old friend there. You know, it's funny, the old friends popped up throughout the games constantly. Like, I mean, they were the center of the plot, kind of, in Gothic 1. And then in Gothic 2, like, they were just always around. Like, they were very ingrained in the plot. Diego was actually surprisingly less so than most of the other characters. But they were all there, and you were always constantly interacting with them. Versus this, everyone, and I mean the world's so big, right, that they split off, and then each one is in kind of one area, and that's just it. I find it really weird. It seems like a strange thing to do. Just like, oh, I'm gonna go off and do this, and you know, Nameless is there going like, I thought we were gonna, you know, save the world together. Oh yes, our first warg. Which, if you can't tell from this distance, is literally just a fucking wolf that has been painted black. And gives you 100 XP instead of 50. And I can't even say that it takes more damage. And it gives you wolf fur. If you look in the things received, it gives you the same fucking thing. It's just wolf fur. You don't get warg skins, you just get wolf stuff. So they literally just renamed wolves. Sloppy. And now there's this little orc settlement, and I got confused. I was like, is this not Gotha? But yes, it is. I just forgot about this crap. There's an orc encampment guarding it.
Dangerous place for a Mora.
Why?
The castle up there is full of undead, Mora. You better get out of here.
Who's in charge here?
Patros is in the house with the tall tower over there.
Will you trade with me?
If you have gold, why not?
Show me
If
your
you
goods.
have gold. I said trade, not buy things.
I prefer an honorable fight.
Yes, orcs talking about honorable fights as they, you know, slaughter humans and enslave them.
Hey, you! Why are you running around here free, Mora? Talk, or I'll have your hide.
This is honestly the first orc that questions why you're running around free. And possibly the only one. Pick something. What do I pick? How about being an asshole? Be an asshole. I know I'm gonna do it. Just do it.
You can't stop me.
Ha! That's what the other prisoner said too. Now he's sitting in my cell, whimpering for mercy. So mind your tongue. You weaklings have no business in this accursed place.
Who's the other guy?
What are you doing here?
I am the leader of this outpost of Gotha, and you will kindly treat me with respect, weakling.
Outpost? What are you guarding here?
Gotha and its castle of miserable Mora fighters called themselves paladins. Once so proud, now they are damned to eternal life and wander through the remains of their buildings in Gotha. Ha!
What happened to Gotha?
You really have no idea of what's going on here, do you? Gotha was the stronghold of the paladins in the war. We used everything we had, but we just couldn't defeat them. They dug themselves into their castle like ticks. Only when we called Beliar himself for help were we able to put an end to their arrogance. The demon of destruction swept through its streets and damned them all to living death.
If a demon rules the city, why are you guarding it then?
That's probably too hard for your little bird brain to figure out, isn't it? We are here to contain the power of the demon. Zardas, the bearer of the power of Beliar, assigned us to this. What do you think would happen if the beast swept across the land, huh?
What was the prisoner's crime?
The man is a rebel. He will be executed when the time is right. with many Moras watching.
What do you know about Zardis?
Even here, I can feel his power, although he is far away.
And where exactly is he staying?
He built a tower on the icy slopes of the eastern mountains.
It's our first tip on where Zardis is actually hiding out. Almost like this was Critical Path, it just wasn't very obvious.
Release the prisoner.
Why should I do that? I can't wait to see how you're going to try to convince me.
Free Gorn.
I'll show you which one of us is a weakling.
Well, just wait. It won't be long before you're lying in the muck, Mora. No one beats me.
And now we challenge him. In the only way that I know how. By running away and getting some distance and then shooting him.
Stop right there, Mora.
And nobody goes, hey, that's not fair. That's not an honorable fight. You fight with no honor. No, but he did. Alright, switch out. There we go. Got the head knock. And flatten him.
That was pure luck.
And somehow his weapon ended up behind me when he was 20 feet in front of me. Okay. And now I just piss around and wait for him to get up off his ass because they take for fucking ever to regenerate their health. Which is good when you're not waiting for them to get up and talk to you. But in this instance, it's really annoying.
Nothing to be had.
Ah, my bones. All right, you win. What do you want?
Release the prisoner.
Over my dead body, Mora.
What a piece of shit.
Show me your goods.
They're gonna trade with him. The sore loser.
How much do I have to pay you to release the prisoner?
You must be out of your mind, Mora, to think I can be bribed like that. It would take a whole lot of gold for me to abandon my principles.
How much?
Ha! More than you can afford. 2,000 gold coins.
See, 2,000 gold is fucking nothing at this point in the game, but even still, it's the principle of the thing.
There you are at last. Get me out of here, damn it.
Gorn, what have you been up to this time?
I tried to find the teleporter stone to the capital Vanguard in Gotha, but unfortunately, it's teeming with skeletons and zombies up there. They're led by a pretty nasty demon. Well, and while we were fleeing those monsters, the Orcs got their hands on me. The rest of the rebel troop didn't make it.
Why would you want a teleporter stone?
The rebels of Okara want to get to the king's castle. They say there's a teleporter stone for the capital in Gotha.
You're working for the rebels?
Our friend Lee still has a bone to pick with the king, as you know. He sent me to find a way to get to the king. The rebels in Okara seem to be the best starting point to achieve this.
The thing with Lee is so fucking disappointing.
Where is Lee now?
He's running around somewhere in the icy wastes of Nordmar, beating up orcs and stuff.
Since when have you been afraid of the undead?
Gotha is the likeness of hell. You will tremble too. Once that demon is after you, believe me.
Why would you go and attack a city if you know it's haunted by such a terrible demon?
The rebels gave me this divine artifact. You see, some idiot talked me into believing that it makes you invincible. Forget it. The demon was still way too strong for me.
Where's the divine artifact now?
I dropped it when I was fighting the demon in Gotha. That monster must have taken the artifact with him.
How can I get you out of here?
You know how this works. Either you take on the entire orc camp, or you'll pay them my ransom. See you
An
later.
entire orc camp it is. Fuck paying ransoms. You're going to die.
Yeah, Mora, get out of here.
And he had the most fortunate move of his life. Didn't help him for very long, though. See, I don't understand why the fuck it failed the quest, because I'm still freeing him, I'm just taking the other option, but God forbid that count. Makes no sense. It should not have failed the quest. But whatever, I guess they're the ones deciding how things work. And now we just play strafey shooty with these orcs while one shoots at me and the rest come at me directly. Actually, no. They split half and half, it seems. Come on. Little more. Yeah, the halberds are tough because they can reach so far. And they deal a ton of damage.
Stop right there, moron.
I like that pole arms is an actual ability you can get. It's just unfortunate there's only like 2 pole arms in the entire game. There's the orc's halberd and there's a human halberd, and that's it. I'd have loved to have seen different variations of halberds and stuff. But maybe I'm just being crazy again. And after we kill this one, I think one of the other guys abandons shooting at you. Because the AI seems to think that somebody has to be melee attacking you at all times. You can't just have... Yeah, same thing. He had the advantage of just shooting at me, but no, he decided to charge me. Because somebody has to be advancing while somebody shoots. Does make it harder, I guess. Oh look, Gorn decided to pitch in. And he's actually not useless, which is great. Like in that starting fight, everyone seemed kind of semi-useless. You couldn't really just walk away from that one and let the AI do it, but he'll actually kill them. Like you can see how damaged they all are already. Just trying to get that last bit of XP, but some causes must be abandoned. Right, now we are completely surrounded by wards, like 20 of the friggin' things. You can hear them in the background there. At some point we abuse that.
Am I good? I'll tear you apart. Stop it.
And we're just shooting. I don't know. Sometimes I get distracted. This is the problem with the commentary model, is just, you know, when stuff's happening in-game and you're actively a part of it, you just kind of inadvertently, like, have a conversation with yourself or just comment on stuff that's happening. It's easier to train yourself to comment on what's happening, I find, than to just talk about something that you're observing passively. Maybe that's just me, but, yeah. Because, I don't know, like, it's funny because I thought that my first Gothic playthrough was, like, one of the better videos. Because I was like, I had so much more to say about it, and, like, there was more interesting stuff because it's the game I've played the most, and there's more in-depth stuff, and I was doing something very different and more difficult. That I legitimately didn't think was going to be physically possible. But then I watched it back, and I was like, huh, I don't think so highly of this anymore, because, like, my audio has definitely gotten better, I would say. Or at least my ability to talk about stuff. Talk about nothing, I guess I should say. Because that's a big thing, like, in that first playthrough, is when there was nothing happening, I wasn't really commenting on it. And I could talk about, like, stuff behind development or, like, other things that I discovered in previous playthroughs, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of moment-to-moment commentary, if you know what I mean. Versus I seem to have picked up doing that quite a bit as I've gone along. But as I'm discovering, commenting on something after the fact is a whole different ballgame, which is interesting. That orc is getting completely fucked by all those wolves. He can't even get up. They just knock him back down. Oh, both of them. And they're not even that damaged, but we'll just leave them there. Was that? Okay, it did not say Orc Slayer. For some reason I thought it said Orc Slayer that I picked up. I was like, got that goddamn sword! It might not have actually auto-populated now that I've got a full hotbar though, so who knows. And it's weird that these orcs just go back to standing around going, nah, it's fine. I know you guys tried to murder us, but if you just stay over there, we'll stay over here, it's all good.
Stop right there.
And I think this is the only place in the game that the AI does this. Well, it's probably not the only place, but it definitely doesn't happen in a city. I don't think. Nah, I'm questioning myself. In all fairness with the commentary thing, I did prefer having like more in-depth lore and like anecdotal stuff to talk about rather than just the moment-to-moment commentary, because any asshole can just do moment-to-moment commentary on what's happening. It's not hard, you basically just kind of like let your internal dialogue out a little bit. As opposed to like thinking of other things to actually have to say. I used to actually like take some notes and stuff like that and put them up on the second monitor. Just so if there was ever a lull I could go talk about something else, but that's not happening now. I need a second monitor again. I technically do have another monitor in this room, but it's being used for a different computer. And I don't really want to like throw them back and forth. Also, it's not the same size as my primary monitor, and that's a whole nother thing that'll drive me crazy. But the functionality is definitely a thing. Now I'm gonna go look for the straggler orc because it wouldn't let me do shit because I'm supposedly still in combat, and look who's hiding up there.
Stop where you are, Mora.
Except the AI gets really fucking confused here because like he'll come at me and then he'll like suddenly turn and then go up the stairs, and it's like it doesn't know what to do with a circle, and now he's going up the roof rather than coming at me. There's one more up here, yeah, and it does the same thing, just like he'll line up for a shot and then nope, back up. Come closer, come closer, come closer, and then nope, back up the stairs. Yeah. It's because like trying to get around the object, but I wonder if maybe they set all the stairs to go like clockwise, but they programmed them to try going counterclockwise first if like they can't go straight forward, maybe? That's the only thing that I can think of. And there's nothing up here. So now, I think it's still playing battle music, isn't it? Yeah,
No.
it says I'm still in combat. Because there's one guy. Incidentally, the guy that has a name is the last one to die. There's only 2 orcs with names here. Killed one first, killed one last. Because I think the wargs took care of everyone else. Yeah, the music returned back to normal, so we're good. And then we go talk to Gorn.
You're free now.
Thanks, friend. I knew I could count on
I
you.
knew I could count on you.
Let's kill this demon in Gotha.
I'm really not too keen on going back in there. But what the heck? Who wants to live forever anyway?
Gotha it is then.
All right, follow me. I know the way.
I know the way. And then at this point, I distinctly remember I was like, oh, it's a good thing that the AI is all identical throughout the game. It was just before this. The AI is all identical across every single fucking character, so I don't have to worry about Gorn being stupid like I did in every other Gothic game. And then he ran straight into a wall. And then I was like, oh, no, I guess Gorn's fucking stupidity is just with us until we die. And I think I just try to run away here and go like, okay, if I get far enough away, maybe he'll figure his shit out. Or maybe I'll go check on him. Maybe he's... Where is he? Oh, he's just inside the geometry of the wall. Gorn! I think I gave up and was like, nah, maybe I'll just go in. He'll join me when he's ready. Maybe. Hopefully. We'll start picking off zombies. And it was at this point that I was like, oh shit, there's more skeletons than I was thinking there was gonna be. This two just came at me. And this one fucking skeleton, like I'm gonna try again because I was like, I really don't want to use explosive arrows. And I also forgot to equip them because I'm a genius. Gorn's still not there. Let's run away so that I can equip my explosive arrows. And any second now, I should turn around and check. You can still hear the battle music, and it's still fucking chasing me. Gonna go all the way over here. Still chasing me. Any other enemy would have given up long ago by now. But every once in a while, you just get one that does not quit. It will chase you until the end of time. It will never eat. It will never eat. It will never sleep. And it will never stop. Until you are dead. And then at this point, I just kind of gave up and I was like, okay, well, it's obviously not going to stop. I have to stop it somehow. Look, it's Gorn. Gorn, he's in the wall. But he doesn't find his brain. He just can't move, so he's not gonna help me. We're on our own. I was like, ooh, the wargs. Let's go through all of the wargs. Maybe, like, I won't die, and they'll just start eating the skeleton instead? If we're lucky. But as you can see, the wargs don't give a shit about the skeleton. They're too busy frolicking. Think I go for a second attempt or no? It's still chasing me, and it's still funny to watch. So I was like, okay, fine, I will try a fire arrow one more time, and then went, wait a fucking minute, what? The fire arrows do damage? I swear that I did the test of fire arrows on skeletons earlier, and it didn't do shit. Because that would have been way handier to know a lot earlier. That, oh hey, yeah, skeletons aren't invincible, you just need to use a flaming arrow. Because they're way cheaper than explosive arrows. They do less damage, but, I mean, there's a lot more of them. Gorn's fucking gone. Is he inside? Nope. He's just gone. Disappeared. So yeah. But, I mean, at the same time, with the whole flaming arrow not damaging the previous skeleton I tested it on, I mean, there's been a couple of completely invincible enemies, so maybe that's just what happened. I got really shitty luck and it was just a skeleton that just decided it was invincible for 5 minutes. Like that snapper the other day. And we just start picking away, I guess. Gotha's not very big. It's not like a huge place. It's just, ah, look, Gorn. It's just a stronghold. So there's like an outer ring, there's kind of an inner ring, and then there's like the castle itself, which is only like a room. Sure does, Gorn. Go in and be useful. And the demon is in the inner ring, I think. This is the outer ring. And then there's just the houses. This is where people live. But there's not really a lot here. I was getting pretty happy with the fact that, you know, there's not too many zombies. I could have sworn like it was more swarmed. But as you can see, they just start popping out of the woodwork. Because they all hide in the houses and shit. Which is cool. It's better than just having a big old horde of zombies hanging around town square. As scary as that would be. It'd be like a Walking Dead moment. Just turn around a corner and see like the entire horde and just go, oh shit. Follow Gorn. Gorn knows where he's going. Switching arrows. Just gotta kill the skellies. And now he's fighting the demon. The demon's actually really cool. 8-foot tall winged thing with a demon sword that has like this, not fire, but like just evil red stuff coming off of it. Energy, vapor, I don't know. Oh yeah, the residual damage from the fire is quite nice. And I like how the skeletons break apart in different ways. There's not just one death animation for them. Because later, when I go to the catacombs and shit, I kill one and its head just pops right off and shoots across the room. It's quite funny. Hopefully I have the presence of mind to point it out. These ones just seem to fall apart though. But I'll pay attention to it in case it happens again. Yeah. They just kind of crumble to the ground. That's the boring way to have a skeleton animate. Yeah, that's the catacombs over there, but I'm just gonna avoid it. Because I would like to go help Gorn fight the demon. It's kind of the more pressing matter right now. And the zombies just be dudes, like... in Gothic 1 and 2, and the number of times I'm gonna say this kind of thing. You know, they were like these lurching, hunched over, half falling apart, wailing, moaning things, and in here they're just dead silent. I don't even think they make a footstep sound. So like, if you're just minding your own business, wandering through a catacomb, and one of them comes up behind you, you're just gonna get attacked and you'll never know. And they're just a dude. Like, they're a dude with some rotting flesh and quite skinny, holding a stick. And they're all identical. All of the opponents are identical in this, and it's one of the things that I hate about it. But I think at this point I kind of decided that, you know what, I'm not going to go through and like go for the quote-unquote 100%. Obviously I was never going to 100% this, but like not do all of the side questy stuff for the towns. And I think I'm just going to like try to progress main story and then get all of the options opened up so that I can talk about that. And then go from there. Because you could literally make this a 200-hour game if you wanted to. And I have no intention of doing so. 50 was plenty for Gothic 2, and if I can keep this around that same point, then that would be great. Shorter would be better, but I think that's a tall order. It's taken me roughly 2 days per area, and I think I counted in this one, there's 23 areas. I guess this is only 1 day though, so whatever. But I average. So that's 46 days and then a couple of fluff days. We got the demon!
One filthy beast.
I think you can actually get their sword at some point, but not here apparently. Which is really disappointing because it's a really cool sword. Actually, maybe you can't get their sword. Now that I think about it, because I feel like I would have been dual wielding those on my one playthrough. But you can get fire swords. You can dual wield fire swords.
Just look at this mess. This used to be a proud paladin stronghold.
The demon of Gotha will never scare anyone again.
Don't tell me. You did it again. I can only hope for both of us that you'll never meet your match, my friend.
What will you do next?
I will try to rebuild Gotha. There are enough people out there looking for a place to stay. Don't get yourself killed, my friend. That would be a waste. This mess is more fun when you're in it too. If you need me as a comrade in arms, you know where to find me.
Yeah, that's just Gorn's life now. He's gonna stay here for the entire rest of the game unless you call on him to follow you. And if you tell him to go back, he'll just go hang out at this place again. So he's basically done with the story, which is stupid because he was in two things. He showed you where the rebels were hiding out of Red Hawk, and this. That's it. And also haha, you don't tell me you did it. Like, what the fuck? Why would you have that as the thing that he says? He was right there. He was fighting it. In fact, you could have let him do it, and then he would have said the same thing. Terrible. And this I'm discovering that him quote-unquote helping is actually making this more difficult than if the skeleton was just up against me. Because it puts its shield in a bad position, and also has it move around more. Right, and this is into the bit of the stronghold, and then after I kill off the last of what's in here, we're gonna start rooting around looking for that teleportation rune to the capital, and I'll have to put a tab in as to when the search starts and one where it ends, because, I mean, I always do that, but I don't always point it out. Because I take forever. It's in... I searched through basically the entire town, because it's not where it should be. It's not in the castle. It's not even in the inner ring. The fucking teleportation ring's in the outer ring. You could literally run in here, grab it, and run out. And it wouldn't have been that difficult. Which I guess maybe is kind of the point. Like, you could technically speedrun this if you wanted to. I mean, anything can be speedrun.
And Enos spoke to his servants. Erect a portal for me, so that I might reign over this world in all eternity. And his servants did as they were bidden.
Alrighty. And for a second there I was like, ooh, a better bow finally, but no, I was looking at the hunting skill requirement, not the damage output. Because for some reason, that's what's on top, and seems like the advertising point. To me, anyway. You'd think damage would be in red or something like that, so it draws your eye to it, but whatever. Red in this game means no.
That won't do anything.
We're still in battle. With nothing.
Not like that.
Do I ever figure out what is pursuing me? Don't remember. Still looking for that teleportation rune though. And we're gonna keep looking for it for the next 10 minutes. I think. Yeah, I was like, did I pick it up? No, that's the teleportation rune to Gotha. Alright. That doesn't help me. Oh yes, now we're out of battle. Because there must just be a delay or something.
Broken.
And yeah. See what I mean? Like, the loot is pretty similar.
Uninteresting.
And I know it was called a lectern, and we already established that those don't have better, or those don't teach you anything, but I still just wanted to, I wanted to be proven wrong. And now I've given up. And now we search every single house. to accidentally talk to Gorn, even though he's got nothing to say. I'm not sure where would have a better bow, because both the other areas are more difficult than Murtana is, and I'm not sure which one you're supposed to go to first. I mean, everything they've pointed us towards Nordmar, so I guess Nordmar would be the one that we go to first. Even though I remember it being significantly more difficult, but it is what it is, I guess. So yeah, I guess I'll go there next, because we know Zardos is there. We'll have to find Zardos, talk to him, and then at some point we end up going to the desert, because I think you have to go to the capital of the desert, and then you might as well just make your way as you go through there. Like, you visit everything on your way through, kind of like what we've done with this. Because I remember one of the ways you can end the game is you kill all of the leaders. I think that's what it was. Like, you have to kill King Robar because he's the leader of the rebels. You have to kill the leader of the Hashishin in the desert. And I think he, for some reason, is the leader of the Orcs? I don't remember exactly. Which is stupid, because you've literally never even heard of Ishtar or anything referring to anything other than, you know, Murtana until this game. And obviously the Orcs had to come from somewhere, because, I mean, where else would they be? But the desert is ruled by the Hashishin, so I don't know. Maybe I'll make more sense of it as I go, because, like, all I have is the hazy ass memory from previous playthroughs, which was, how many years ago did I say that was? I don't know. It's over a decade. Well over a decade. I feel old. I feel so old. It's kind of a funny thing. Like, you just, like, you talk about things like, oh no, this wasn't that long ago. And like, no, this was a very long time ago. Because it feels like I played it like a couple of years ago, but not, you know, 12 or 14 or whatever the hell it's been. And you're like, oh man, a lot of time has passed. I didn't feel like that much time has passed because I don't feel like I'm that much older than I was, but obviously I actually am. It's really depressing. Nobody likes getting old. And then starting to realize, like, the perspectives that your parents must have had and stuff like that. It wasn't that long ago that, you know, they were at probably a similar stage in life that I'm at, and I'm like, holy shit. They're old people now. I'm gonna be old in no time. And then we find the rune, and I'm like, oh, found the teleportation rune, look at this. It was right in the first building. So easy. How did I walk past it? See, we could have literally walked right up there. And then we fight this skeleton. And then I think I'm like, wait a minute, let's just check on the rune, because that seemed too easy. At some point, anyway. Maybe I won't. Pretty sure I check on it, but maybe it's a while in. Oh, yeah. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't see any rune. I have 2 of the Gotha rune. Why the fuck, of all places, is this the one that has 2 runes? I think the answer is specifically to piss you off. So now we gotta go back and find the fucking rune. We've gone through most of the area. Just making sure that that is the purpose of coming here, even though we heard it in dialogue before. And yep, talking with Roland, yep. Gotha has the teleportation rune to the capital. Vanguard. So where is it hiding? This one does run a little bit long. It's over an hour because I was like, there's not that much left to search for. I should just wrap it up so that we can call it a day and move on to the next thing tomorrow. So it does go over an hour. I try not to make these go over an hour, but whatever. Some of them just do. It's just how long it has to be to fit the stuff for that day in. Sometimes you don't make as much progress as you want to in a day. Perfectly good. And I'm pretty sure the catacombs was like the only thing left to look at. And why they have the catacombs just like as a whole right next to town makes no sense. Like, don't think about the logistics of literally anything in this game because you'll be perplexed. And the thing about Lee, I started talking about it before, just saying that it's really disappointing. Like, Gorn was like, oh, Lee's still got a bone to pick with the king. Okay, well, I just played Gothic 1 at least part way again while doing this. And I found the part where Lee talked about it, and if you listen to it, Lee does not care. Like, he does not blame the king at all in Gothic 1 while he's in prison. He's like, the fucking nobles are the ones that, you know, screwed me over. They framed him for the murder of the king's wife, and the king just had no choice of what to do, and he acknowledged that. But in this game, they boil it down and go, oh, the king wronged me, I'm gonna go fucking kill the king. And I'm like, I thought it was weird the first time I played this game, but it stands out so much more now that I'm thinking about it, because like, Lee, that was part of the thing that like made Lee such a reasonable guy, right? Is because like he understood the other side of things. But no. Gotta kill the king because he made me go to prison. Even though I literally know that it wasn't the, you know, his fault that he was manipulated, but you can tell that different writers were in charge of this than the first one, and significantly less intelligent writers, I will add, or at least less creative ones. Let's not slam them completely. I'll just say they're less creative. That's less demeaning. Or maybe they just like didn't think the player was as intelligent. Maybe that's the thing. They're just dumbing down the story. It's terrible, though. They could have had such a more complex whole setup. And if they remake this game, I really, really hope that they, like, key it closer to the way it should have been. Yeah, there's the skeleton's head that popped off while it was on fire. That was the one. Doesn't happen again, though. They just crumble. That's just like a nice little bonus that you get, I guess. Now this is the last little area. This is where the teleportation rune is, I think. And one more. Nope, one more. There we go. You could just literally like take it out of the quiver and just toss it at it and it'll die. Should be an option. And there it is. Yay. And that decides the plans for tomorrow. We're gonna go to Vanguard. We'll go to Vanguard, we'll see the king, we'll figure that mess out, and then that'll be the next little bit of the plot. Because I'm pretty sure it makes sense to do that before we go talk to Zardes. It really makes no difference. You can do anything in either order. I think Zardes literally just tells you to go talk to all the leaders, so yeah, either way. But anyway, that's enough for today. This one's gone long enough, and next time I will have proper audio because I'll actually double fucking check, so hopefully this was all right as a substitute for the normal format. But until next time, take care out there and have a good one.